What's going on, everyone? So, the New Orleans Pelicans, based on reports, are looking to shop Zion Williamson. The guy just can't stay healthy, right? And they, according to reports, are willing to take the first kind of reasonable offer, right? They're not expecting to get a return. They're not expecting anything crazy. Just kind of like, hey, anybody that's like, hey, here's something half decent, they'll be like, sure, we'll take it, right? They just kind of want to get off of and move on from Zion Williamson. And I get it, right? Like, Zion, look, the guy has all the talent in the world. The guy genuinely, when healthy, should be in top 5 conversations in the league because he is so explosive. He is so dominant. The guy is an absolute monster when he's healthy and can play. But the problem is, again, he can't stay healthy, right? He does have non-guaranteeds every year of his contract. So any team that was to trade for him could get off of him if need be. They could just kind of clear the cap space if need be. And so I want to talk about potentially the Lakers taking a flyer on Zion Williamson, especially if you can get him dirt cheap. Now, it's not something I would do this season. I wouldn't do it at the trade deadline or something like that. So if somebody ends up deciding, hey, let's take a flyer on him this season, then so be it. But in the offseason, right? Let's say LeBron does leave. Let's say this is last season with the Lakers. You're going to have a hole at the power forward spot, right? Now, obviously, if you can go get Giannis or something like that, then you go get Giannis. But I'm talking about, like, if you were to keep Austin Reeves and all that, and you got basically DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, right? Like, I wouldn't hate kind of taking a flyer on Zion Williamson, especially, again, if you can go cheap. And a couple reasons on this. Again, this is more just exploratory. It's just a fun conversation. Like, I'm not saying like Lakers need it. They absolutely have to go get Zion, but the potential's still there. He's 25 years old still. He's still incredibly young. He's incredibly talented. He's kind of like an ideal pairing next to Luka if he can figure out the health situation. But I also think I think one, getting a fresh start could be good for him. 2, going to a team like the Lakers where now you're contending for championships. Now you're not playing on the New Orleans Pelicans that, I mean, Dyson Daniels and guys like that have said the Pelicans are cursed. I mean, you watch the Pelicans, everybody gets injured on the Pelicans. It's not even Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson's just the casualty of the Pelicans. But we've seen guys get hurt, Dyson Daniels is one of them, get hurt with the Pelicans and then go to another team and healthy and fine, right? So I don't know if it's a training staff issue. I don't know if it's a medical issue. I don't know what it is with the New Orleans Pelicans, but they definitely have some issues. You know who doesn't? The Lakers. The Lakers have one of the best medical staffs now because, again, Mark Walters put money into it. They have one of the best training staffs now because, again, Mark Walters put money into it. 3, you have Luka Doncic, who's already done the transformation thing, and you could have Luka kind of follow suit, right? Like, even have Zion be on the Luka diet or whatever if it's something that actually works for it. Because, you know, he's different frame, different body, different athleticism, things like that, right? Like, you need to have certain, you know, capabilities and stuff. So, you know, I don't, like, the thing is you have a get out of jail free card, right? So you could take a flyer on Zion, and if it doesn't work out, you could just get off of him, right? Or trade him to a team, especially if you don't have to give up anything really. Like, if you're just kind of like, you know, here's Rui sign and trade and then whatever else, right? Like, because again, there's no denying Zion's talent when he's healthy. Right? Like, the guy is unbelievable. The guy can play defense. The guy can be an interior presence. The guy can be a lob threat. I mean, imagine him in the dunker spot for Luka Doncic and just Luka just throwing him lobs and stuff. And he's still cheap enough to where you could round out the rest of your roster. Where, you know, again, if you could get a Giannis or something like that, you definitely do so. But Zion Williamson isn't making, you know, $50 million a year, right? So again, non-guaranteed. So you have the get out of jail free card if it doesn't work out. 2, it would be a flyer without a doubt. It would be like, hey, we're going to take a chance on him type thing. But if you can revamp him and you can kind of get him right, and I'm not saying to the point where he plays 82 games or something like that. He's probably going to still miss games. But again, if he's healthy for a majority of the season and then come playoff time, that Lakers could be very explosive. Lakers could be very just tough to deal with, right? You look at this season. He's making $39.4 million. Next year, he'll be $42.1 million. Again, these are all non-guarantees. And then at most, on his final year, he'll be $44.88 $6 million. So basically $45 million. Both of those years, so you'd only have him for 2 years at worst. You'd have him on non-guarantees. So like I said, you could get out, or you could always trade him as like salary filler in order to if a team wants to get off of some pieces, maybe you turn them into like 2 or 3 like role guys at some point if the Zion thing doesn't work out. But if it does work out, again, I mean, at worst, Zion on the surface is 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists on 51% from the field. Right? Like the guy can, again, do everything out there. He can make plays. He can, self-create. He can hit shots. He can, again, bully on the inside, give you some toughness, give you some physicality, give you some athleticism, right? Like, so to me, I wouldn't even hate. The problem, the issue is like, again, like if you were to get him right now, like LeBron, like, because in a perfect world, like I wouldn't hate taking him on if we could get Herb Jones, right? Like, hey, we'll take on your Zion issue if you like as like a way to incentivize landing Herb Jones. Problem is like the Pelicans could just like be like, we'd rather just get off of Zion, right? Like they could just waive him if they wanted to, but I'm sure they don't want to lose him for nothing. So like if you could kind of work it out to where like, hey, we'll help us land Herb Jones. We'll take the Zion issue. We'll give you a bunch of expiring contracts, and then the picks and stuff that we have, and then you got Zion and Herb Jones. The problem is then you'd have to probably bring Herb Jones off the bench, and then like what do you do with LeBron? So that's why I'm saying like I just don't think you could do it this season. You'd have to do it next season, and plus Zion again is hurt this season, so I'd want to get him when you have if you can get him early in the offseason so you can bring him in and immediately get him going, get him right, so that hopefully when you reach the season and preseason and all that stuff, he's healthy and good to go, and you can get into training camp and all that stuff with him, and he's ready to kind of ramp up and good to go. So personally, I even if you could get him this season for they just expiring. They were like, hey, we really like Rui. Like, give us Rui and Gabe Vincent and whatever. Like, Maxi Kleba, and we'll give you Zion Williamson, right? Like, it'd be hard to say no to that, but like, I would rather wait just because I don't, like, where do you slot him? And then, what, are you going to move LeBron to the 3? That's probably not a good idea. So, again, it's not something I'd want to do necessarily this trade deadline, but I think they're going to have a hard time to move him. They're not going to get anything of value for him, right? And I'm not against taking chances. Right? You have to fill out the rest of your roster, so that's why to me, I'd want to do all of that first, right? Because remember, Lakers get more assets and things like that in the offseason. So to me, this season, get all the things you can get, right? Like, if you can go get a Herb Jones by himself, just go get a Herb Jones. But if not, let's say go get like a Miles Bridges and a Keon Ellis, right? So now you got those two. Now you go and compete for an NBA championship. And, in the offseason, let's say LeBron departs, right? Let's say LeBron's like, okay, like I'm going to go play my last season in Cleveland or whatever, right? Then that's where I would go and take the chance. If LeBron sticks around, then no, I stay away from Zion. But if LeBron leaves, then I wouldn't force LeBron out for Zion or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, let's say like LeBron himself goes like, hey, thank you guys. This is going to be my last season. I want to do my last year in Cleveland or whatever. Then I'd do something like that. Maybe even work out a sign and trade where LeBron goes to Cleveland, and then maybe those assets go to, the Pelicans, and you can get Zion in another piece, something like that, whatever, right? You could kind of figure it out, and then take the flyer on Zion. And then like, let's say, because if you already did what you were supposed to do, you could have something like Luka, Austin Reeves, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, and DeAndre Ayton as your starting 5. And then off the bench, bare minimum, you'd have Keon Ellis, Jake LaRavia, Adu Thero. You'd have Jackson. Jackson is probably going to stick around, and which is fine. He's been good, right? Jackson. So you'd be 9 to 10 deep, right? Like if Zion stays healthy, you're probably just as good. You're probably one of the better teams in basketball because again, he's a guy that can really kind of elevate a team. It's just the only problem with Zion is again he can't stay healthy. That's literally the only issue. The guy cannot stay healthy. When he's healthy, the guy is a force of nature, right? But That's the problem. Best ability is availability. Right? You look at the most games he's ever played. He's had one season where he's played 70. That was 2023, 2024. He played 70 games. His second season, he played 61. If you can get him around that 65 range, like 60 to 65 range, year in and year out, that's fine. Then at that point, I think Zion's worth it, right? The problem is like, you look at last year, 30 games, 3 seasons ago, the year before the 70 game one, 29 games. The year before that, didn't play at all due to injury. His rookie season only played 24 games, right? So if he's playing 30, 40 games, that's an issue, right? That's where, if I'm the Lakers, I'm like, all right, we need to get off of this guy type thing. But like I said, if you can get him to 65 games, which again, change of scenery, you're on the Lakers, so now you're playing for championships rather than, lottery picks and stuff like that. You get a better medical team, better medical staff, better training, better everything, right? You have a guy in Luka who's going to make you look ridiculous. I don't hate it. I really don't. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.